Okay, now let's take a look at the second transformation. The second transformation is called reflections, and we have a x-axis reflection and the y-axis reflection. So the x-axis reflection happens when we add a negative sign in front of the original function f(x). So the result is the graph of the new function gx is the graph of f(x) reflected over the x-axis. So this is like we turned over the f(x), we turn over the graph of f(x) over the x-axis. Then we can find the graph of gx. And for the y-axis reflection is gx equals f of negative x. Now this time we add the negative sign in front of x within the parentheses, and the result is we turn over the graph of f(x) over the y-axis. Then we can find the graph of gx. Okay, now let me use these two examples to illustrate this idea. Here we have this basic function f(x) equals the absolute value of x. So the graph looks like this. And then now suppose I want to graph the function gx, and the gx is defined by negative f(x), which is a negative the square root of x. Now according to this definition, this transformation is the x-axis reflection. So in order to find the graph of gx, we need to turn the graph of f(x). We need to turn it over the x-axis. So if I turn this over the x-axis, so this piece will come down to here, and this piece will come down to here. So this will be the graph of gx. Okay, now let's take a look at another example. So here we have this basic function, the square root of x, and this time I define the gx as f of negative x, because this time I put this negative sign in front of x. So in this square root, I put the negative sign in front of x under the square root, and this is a y-axis reflection. So according to this definition, the graph of gx is generated by reflecting this piece over the y-axis. So we will get something like this. So this is the graph of the gx. Alright, now sometimes for some functions, after you do the x-axis reflection, you will see the graph of the function, it doesn't change. For example, here, if I want to graph what is f of negative x? Now that means I need to turn the graph over the y-axis, right? And you see, if you turn this around, you turn this over the y-axis, you will get the same thing. And this is because the absolute value function, the graph of this function is symmetric about the y-axis. So its y-axis reflection will be itself.